So this is a standard shipping pallet. You can see it's one of the plastic pallets which don't get stopped at the border due to the wooden pallets being stopped because they need to be sprayed with chemicals. You can see it also has through holes, so you can put things through it and lock it in place. And this pallet is a standard size, so it's a 120 by 100, and the way to prove that is you check the pallet side, and it's got a little stamp which says 1200 millimeters by 1000 millimeters by 150 millimeters, which is the standard size of the pallets. You can see country of origin, recycling, etc. These are available for like 20 bucks each, and they come with these clips to organize your loads. And you can basically ship a pallet of items via air freight from North America to Europe for like 300-400 bucks. I'm shipping this pallet for 412 with pickup and delivery on both ends via FedEx. So you can see how cheap it is. I've got these U-bolts. Now what I'm going to do is build a wooden cage around this and then put a wood thing on top to protect the contents, and then wrap it in plastic to prevent any moisture damage. So I'm using these U-bolts, and these fit through the pallet slots. And what I've done is basically drilled holes in these pieces of wood, so these pieces of wood stand on top. Actually, I'll put them here, and then what happens is I'll basically screw plywood to these things, so the pallet will be this tall. You're going to need a pallet jack to lift these things, because your pallet weight will start at about this pallet itself weighs about 10-15 kgs, and then you put the wood on top. This is all scrap wood I've got, so it's not in the best shape, but it'll do the job. It's free. And so what I'm going to do is put this bracket through the hole, and then use these to bolt the system in place. And that should, once I have 6 of these, it should block the movement of the materials from outside the pallet. I put a little shock damp foam. This is expanding foam, so it'll protect the plastic from any excessive shocks. You can see I've got a scrap roll of the foam here, and that'll go through the thing, and then this will fit on top. Leave a little space so the plywood sides can come, and then a plywood top will fit on here, and that can be screwed directly to the top of these. And there you can see the completed system. Just a little shock damp foam at the bottom, and then these 2 things on either side, so that'll hold a scrap piece of wood, and then I go with my plywood edges right across it. Now you can see I've tightened down the plate, so you can see the plate is flexed, so now it's tight enough so it'll spring load these things, and they're not going to come out, so it's pretty solid. You can in fact lift the whole pallet with it and not have a problem. So this is solid. Now all you have to do is put a flat plywood across it, and put a couple of nails down this thing, 2-inch flat screws, and we should be good on this end. Now we can do the other end. So once again I'm taking care to make sure this is tight, not too tight because otherwise it'll cut through the plastic, but tight enough so that it'll support it. And once again the thing is slightly bent, so it's gonna hold it in place rigidly, and I can once again test it out by lifting the pallet with it. So enough space for the side plywood to come. And out here I also have enough space for the side plywood. So now the next step is the main supports. I have 2 on either side, which should be enough to take the load. But now I need main supports, so I'll put one here, and one here. Now this is a heavily over-engineered pallet because I want to make sure that when they load the pallets, they'll stack them one on top of the other, which means it has to take the load of several pallets on top, and this will definitely take the load once, since I'm using so for this I'm using scrap fence posts. I have these guys cut to the same size, and what I'm going to do is simply place these on, and instead of having the things go through it like this guy, I'm going to clamp it down using these bolts to hold it in place on either side. So I've got 2 bolts, and these should provide enough support for whatever's thrown on it. So, and then once that's done, they are the same height. So once that is done, then once again I'm leaving space for the thing and making sure it's balanced on this thing, and I'll put it through these. So making sure I leave enough. I can also do it this way, either way. It's all scrap piece of wood, so it doesn't really matter, the fence posts. Okay, so now I have all my things set. Each of these is solidly locked into place. So we have a central thing, 3 lifts, 3 supports, 2 side supports, and then we can bolt in surrounding, and then stick them in through the supports, and then we'll put bolts straight through. So 5 bolts straight through, holding the pallet in place, so when customs checks it, they can remove those 5 bolts, and basically the pallet is ready to inspect. So now we have to put the side ones on. Okay, so what I've done is basically just add 4 screws. These are flathead 2.5 8x2.5 construction screws to hold it together, and that's formed all 4 sides. Now what I'm going to do is put these little tabs on the side, and I'll use this packing tape, which is this guy, and that should take care of it. It'll wrap around it. I'll do 3 wraps. The way you do this is you basically hold it upside down, slide the one end through the bottom of it, and you do that by clipping on this, which releases this clip, which allows you to slide it. Then you put another one. The other end goes through this part, and this part, which has a cutter, this part has a cutter, goes through, tightens it. You put a metal band here, and you clip the metal band in place with this tool. Okay, so this is the cable we use to tie it. And the way you do it is, let me demonstrate. So you start with this thing. You go from the back, because what happens is this part grips the first part. So press it down, slide it through. And that holds it firmly in place. So this part is the cutter. So once you zap the strap across, the cutter will cut it. So you put the strap around the box, bring it all the way, and bring it to this guy. and slide it in between the cutter jaws. So now you have two free ends here. And then what you will do is tighten the things, and you'll be fixing the two ends with a metal clamp out here, and then the cutter will cut this. So you'll get a couple of loose ends on this side, on the front side, and it will hold it in place. So let me demonstrate. So I roll it up and it'll be tight because it's held to the box. And then what I will do is simply press this down, and that cuts the cord. Then you can then just release it. So now I release it, and you see it's cut all the way through the front part of the cord, and it's not gone all the way through, but you get the idea. And the rest of it will be around your package and sealed up. So that's the way this cutter thing works. You slide it in backwards, and then you clamp it on the back of this portion. And a lot of YouTube videos don't go into that detail, but that's how you do it. Okay, so this is the completed box with the lid. Over this will come plastic wrap, and then the titles, bills of lading, etc. Okay, so now shrink wrap the whole thing. This shrink wrap. And now we'll put the straps and strap it to the pallet. Okay, so I now have custom documents attached, and then there's another copy on the side, and then of course I've got 3 copies of my shipping documents attached. I mean my tracking number and everything attached. So so that's basically the crate complete. And this is the package at its destination. You can see it's cleared customs. They did open it, and looks like they resealed it with tape, so that's good. So yeah, you can see it's been cleared and it's fine.